The recreational yard went silent. Cadet Lisa Martinez had been tossing a gravity ball with the Scarnathi cub when it happened. The young predator, barely 6 months old but already the size of a full-grown wolf, caught the ball mid-air and landed in a playful crouch. Then it growled. Not a playful yip, a real growl. The kind that rumbled from deep in its chest and promised violence. The kind its ancestors used before bringing down prey 3 times their size. Every cadet in the yard froze. The Quillen student's fur went shock white. A Vexari actually shattered 2 of their crystalline appendages in panic. Even the instructors reached for their emergency neural dampeners. Lisa looked at the cub, head tilted. Then she dropped into a crouch, bared her teeth, and growled right back. Grah! The cub's eyes widened. Its ears flicked forward in surprise. Then Lisa laughed, a wild, delighted sound, and lunged forward, snatching the ball from the cub's jaws. Got it. My point. The cub recovered from its shock, made a sound somewhere between a bark and a roar, and charged after her. What followed could only be described as controlled chaos. Lisa dodged and weaved while the cub gave chase, both of them making increasingly ridiculous noises at each other. Is she having a dominance confrontation with a Scarnathi juvenile? Instructor Pelmore whispered, his avian crest fully extended in alarm. No, said Professor Krell9 slowly, studying the scene. I think they're playing. Playing. She responded to a threat display with her own threat display. And the cub accepted it as communication. Krell9's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. Fascinating. Lisa had stopped running and was now engaged in what appeared to be a wrestling match with the cub. It would pounce. She'd roll and redirect its momentum. It would. Snap at her arms. She'd tap its nose and dodge. When it managed to pin her, she'd make exaggerated groaning sounds that sent the cub into what could only be described as victorious prancing. All right, you win this round. Lisa laughed, sitting up and roughing up the fur around the cub's neck. The cub responded by licking her face with a tongue the size of a dinner plate, nearly knocking her over again. Cadet Thren, a methane-breathing Voss, approached cautiously. How did you know it was safe to growl back? Context, Lisa explained, wiping alien saliva off her face. His body language was playful, loose posture, tail up, bouncy movements. The growl was just communication. He was saying, I'm going to chase you now. So I told him, bring it on, in a language he'd understand. But humans don't naturally growl, Pelmore protested. Your species lacks the proper vocal structures for threat displays. We can improvise. Lisa demonstrated another growl, this one softer. The cub's ears perked up, and it made a pleased chirping sound. Humans are really good at mimicking sounds. It's how we learn language in the first place. You're telling me humans can just learn predator vocalizations? Thren's environmental suit fogged slightly with agitation. And use them casually? During recreation? Sure. I grew up with dogs. Same principle. You learn their sounds. They learn yours. Everybody communicates better. Lisa stood up, brushing dirt off her uniform. Besides, he's just a baby. A really big, really toothy baby, but still a baby. The cub, hearing the affection in her tone, headbutt her leg gently and made a sound like grinding rocks. Scarnathi, for contentment. Ambassador Scowreth, the cub's parent, had been observing from the command balcony. The massive Scarnathi descended to the yard, each footfall shaking the ground. Most cadets scrambled backward. Lisa just waved. Your offspring has good instincts, she called up. Scowreth's laugh sounded like an avalanche. And you have the spirit of Scarnathi hunter. My child chose well. The ambassador leaned down, bringing their massive head level with Lisa. You do not fear our young. What? Fear and respect are different things, sir. I respect that he's a predator. But fear? That'd just make me boring to play with. Scowreth made an approving rumble that rattled Lisa's bones. The human understands. You may continue playing with my offspring. Teach him your strange human courage. As the ambassador left, Krell9 updated his field notes. Humans possess remarkable ability to interpret and mimic predator communication. also appear to have fundamentally broken threat assessment protocols. Recommend further study, assuming they survive their own boldness. Lisa just threw the gravity ball again, laughing as the cub charged after it with renewed enthusiasm. She called it playing. The galaxy called it proof that humans were either incredibly brave or completely insane. Probably both.